Alright, welcome back everybody to my channel. I hope you're having a great start to your week. And today let's talk about where the global economy is headed in Q4 2025. What does this mean for stocks, crypto, bonds, gold, commodities? It's a lot of ground to cover. So let's jump right in. And by the way, if you want to see the full report that I'm sharing data from, it's linked below. There's a bunch of charts in there that I just don't have time to include in this video. But first, a quick word from today's sponsor. Alright, so let's start with US equities. The US stock market has shown remarkable resilience in 2025, rising about 8 to 10% year to date. But the path forward is still quite uncertain, and here's why. The S&P 500 has climbed approximately 8 to 10% year to date, primarily driven by technology and AI-related stocks. That's according to recent Morningstar and Goldman Sachs reports. Goldman Sachs now projects the S&P 500 to reach 6,600 by year-end, potentially rising to 6,900 in 2026. The firm's optimism stems from expectations around corporate earnings, which they believe will remain stable despite a challenging economic environment. However, some analysts like those at Morgan Stanley, they suggest that 2025 could be a pause year for the bull market with single-digit returns, and that's mainly due to elevated interest rates and lingering economic uncertainties. Beneath the surface of the US stock market, there's been a clear trend of sector rotation. While tech giants like Nvidia, Google, and Microsoft continue to lead the market, traditionally defensive sectors such as energy and utilities are experiencing notable gains. This shift can be attributed to rising commodity prices and increased spending on infrastructure. On the other hand, sectors like consumer discretionary and real estate are facing headwinds due to softening consumer spending and higher borrowing costs. Overall, volatility in the stock market as measured by the VIX remains elevated due to ongoing tariff uncertainties and the upcoming US election cycle. And that's something that often spooks investors. Despite these challenges, there are pockets of opportunity emerging in undervalued sectors like industrials, but it's crucial to proceed with caution. A potential 5 to 10 correction could materialize if corporate earnings disappoint or if the Fed delays rate cuts further than anticipated. Looking ahead to the final quarter of 2025, there are several key indicators to keep an eye on. The performance of value versus growth stocks, which reflects the impact of monetary policy. Signs of a slowdown in China's economy, which could dampen global growth prospects. And shifts in investor sentiment towards riskier assets. Alright, shifting gears to crypto. The cryptocurrency market has demonstrated remarkable resilience and growth in 2025. Bitcoin is up almost 70% year to date, hovering around the $100,000 level. However, the cryptocurrency market is not without its challenges. Regulatory scrutiny and enforcement actions by authorities have impacted investor confidence, and that's especially true for smaller altcoins. Looking ahead to Q4 of 2025, several trends are expected to shape the market. Increased institutional involvement, the potential for more regulatory clarity, and the emergence of innovative use cases for blockchain technology. Altcoins are currently facing difficulties due to tighter regulations and lower DeFi volumes. However, coins like Solana could see price increases as they focus on speed and low transaction fees. Additionally, there's growing interest in cryptocurrencies integrating artificial intelligence. A new altcoin season could be sparked by these developments, as noted by Mitrede. Overall, the cryptocurrency market is maturing and is likely to remain volatile. Long-term growth prospects appear promising, but investors need to be prepared for unexpected twists and turns. Alright, and finally, gold prices have reached their highest point in over 25 years, surpassing $3,000 per ounce. Experts predict that gold will continue to perform well, averaging $3,775 in Q4 of 2025 and potentially reaching $4,000 by mid-2026, according to JP Morgan Research. This surge in gold prices is attributed to several factors including central bank buying, a weaker US dollar, and ongoing geopolitical tensions. Silver and copper are also seeing upward momentum, with copper trading around 4.45 per pound due to increased demand for green energy. Commodities as a whole are expected to face challenges in 2025, with the World Bank forecasting a 5% decline due to softer demand. Oil prices are projected to remain volatile between $78 and $92 per barrel amid production cuts by OPEC and tensions in the Middle East. Agricultural commodity prices are expected to rise for grains but fall for softs, as highlighted by Aberdeen Standard Investments. Alright, so there you have it, a snapshot of the key trends and outlooks for the remainder of 2025. The global economic landscape is complex and dynamic, presenting both challenges and opportunities. Stay vigilant, diversify your investments, and adapt to the evolving circumstances. As always, feel free to add me on social media. Subscribe to this channel for more insights, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day.